For 2025, the loud and proud Infiniti QX80 ditches the 5.6-liter V8 engine and is now equipped with a twin-turbocharged 3.5-liter V6. So, what does that mean for highway fuel economy? Today we find out. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and tonight we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test on the 2025 Infiniti QX80. In this test, we're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour, to get a realistic fuel economy number for this full-size SUV. And before we get started, let's hop out and take a look at it. Yes, entirely redesigned for 2025, Infiniti QX80, giving you a whole lot to love, and some controversial changes for this new one. It is still, in essence, the same vehicle, still drives fairly similarly, just a different beating heart under the hood, and a lot of new luxury features and some aggressive new styling. So if you do want to see more on the QX80, check the link below. I have a good amount to say about it, and we've also got a dedicated review on the 24-speaker Klipsch audio system. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this QX80 19 miles per gallon on the highway, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are plenty of people who use their vehicles on long road trips, especially a vehicle like this with the Pro Pilot Assist 2.1 self-driving and the towing capabilities and all the family hauling space. And we know those people would like to know what sort of numbers you can realistically expect here in the real world. So in order to test that out, we're going to head out on the highway here. We're going to do 100 miles. We're going to come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method, and get a result. Now, a few things to know for the test tonight, and we do have to test at night in order to avoid traffic slowdowns here on Southern California freeways. But a few things to know is that our tire pressures are going to be set to their door placard 35 psi cold. The outside temperature will be about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to run the internal climate control at 73 degrees auto. Now, when we tested this vehicle back in 2023, it achieved 18 miles per gallon on our testing. That's slightly lower than its EPA figure of also 19. The EPA figures are the same for this one and the V6, or rather the V8 model. But that test was done back in Michigan. It was only done over 60 miles, so it's not going to be an exact apples-to-apples comparison, but it'll still be interesting to see what it's like here and kind of compare the two at the end of the test. So without any further ado, let's head to the gas station. We are all fueled up, put in just over 3.7 gallons into the tank. Before we start the engine, we're going to reset the vehicle's trip computer as well as our GPS. Now, why is this driving aids limited towing assist active? We need to fix this actually real quick. For some reason, Infiniti gave me the vehicle with towing assist active. Okay, I think I've fixed it. Hopefully I did, because last time I got on the highway, it wouldn't let me set the adaptive cruise control, and I'm really curious to try the Pro Pilot Assist 2.1 driving assist features in here. Okay, let's get the trip computer reset. Average fuel economy, reset that one. All items, let's go. GPS is reset. Climate control is on at 73 auto. We're ready to go. As we bring this 3.5 liter to life, we'll go through our different drive modes. We got personal, standard, eco, sport, tow, and snow. We're going to do this test in eco, and we're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile away, and pick up the test from there. Now, the goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this car, but rather a realistic figure. So in order to do that, we're getting up to highway speed here at a reasonable pace. And I'm going to set the cruise control to a GPS indicated 71 miles per hour. And that should allow us to average about 70 over the whole test. Now, the last time when we tested QX80, we only did 60 miles on that test. That was back in Michigan. We're going to be doing a whole 100 on this one, so hopefully a little bit more of an accurate result. Speedometer's looking like it's about 1 mile per hour high, so 72 on the car is going to give us 71 on the GPS. Initial highway impressions, this seems like it's going to be a good place to be out here. Big comfy seats, nice high seating position, even down in the aero mode of the adaptive air suspension. I do think it's going to be a little bit quieter once we get this shut. In fact, it's not really giving you guys any benefit of light right now, so let's close it now. Let's see if our adaptive cruise control works. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to be curious to try this out. I think it's supposed to, when it's in blue right here, it's supposed to just be driving for us. So that'll be pretty cool to test out over an hour and on a familiar route like this. Oh, you got to press this twice to get it to close all the way. Cool. I think it's going to be a nice place to be. So I'm going to continue on with the test out this Klipsch audio system with some members-only tracks, and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time-lapse of the entire trip.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the 25 QX80. It's a good highway cruiser. However, I will say the Pro Pilot Assist is not the best system for using in city environments like this. First of all, it disabled itself within about 2 miles or so of me starting to use it, saying that well, I'll put the picture right up here in front of me. It said like HD map was unavailable. And now it's slowing us down dramatically for this corner. 6-7 miles per hour. Don't like that. What ends up happening is a lot of times if you don't do your steering just properly in order to change lanes and have your hand on the wheel just right. Oh, are we getting passed by another 25 QX80? Oh, look at that. That's fun. So you see, for a while it just wouldn't work, even here on the 5 freeway, saying that the HD map wasn't available. But you'll find yourselves a lot of times, if you don't change lanes just the right way and you kind of wait, you don't wait for it to do its process and everything, it'll cancel itself, it'll beep at you, you'll be fighting the steering wheel a lot. So I recommend, if you're driving in a busier area, just go down here, turn the steering assist off, drive normally, and you're probably going to have a better time. That being said, if you're somebody who likes to drive with your right arm and the elbow resting against the center console, you'll find remarkably hard plastic bits that your elbow is resting against, so not very comfortable there. As for the Klipsch audio system, weird. Some things sound really good, other things don't sound proper enough. It's not coming in with enough punch. So a little disappointing there, but overall a powerful and good, good system. So check the link below if you want to see our more dedicated review of that. As for fuel economy, that is doing quite well. We're looking at 22.9 MPG, according to the vehicle's trip computer. Pretty darn impressive. We have had a little bit more traffic and a little bit more slowdowns than I would like, so I'm running a little bit quicker right now to try to make up the average speed, but looks like our speed average is going to be pretty firmly at 69 miles per hour according to GPS. That's a moving speed average. Up here is telling us a speed average including stopped. Tack shot. This transmission does keep the engine pretty darn low in revs, looking at just over 1,500 RPM, cruising here at 72 miles per hour. Pretty darn good there. Right there, that was a good example of I was needing to change lanes back to the right, and I had my blinker on, but I still had to fight the steering wheel trying to keep me in the lane. Let's see if this happens again. So I'm driving along here, I got my cruise control set, past this car, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to change lanes now. Blinker on. Okay, that time it disabled the cruise control on its own. So I don't know, it's a lot going on here with this car. But we're going to get it back to the pump. We're going to fill it all the way up with fuel, and then I'll recap my results with you in the morning. We are all fueled back up next morning, and last night we put in 4.662 gallons of fuel into the QX80. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, it reset our trip computer. It must have been, it doesn't even look like it was since fueling, because this one, let's see, auto refuel is the one that did it since fueling. So for some reason, it reset our trip computer this morning when I headed out. But if I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 22 miles per gallon on the vehicle's trip readout. So let's see what we get here. 100.3 miles traveled divided by that 4.662 gallons. Okay, pump doesn't lie. We're cooperating, and ooh, that's a tough round. We're at 21.5 according to the pump's readout, but given a little bit of extra traffic last night and not quite a 70 mile per hour average, I'm going to bump down to 21 miles per gallon here for the 2025 QX80. And that is pretty good because it's beating its EPA by a significant percentage. It's, I think, about 10% over the 19 miles per gallon the EPA is giving it, and 3 miles per gallon better than we got with last year's, or at least 2023's version of the QX80. So even though the EPA's testing doesn't give you a super, it really gives you the same highway fuel economy between the V8 and the V6, this one in the real world seems to be a little bit more efficient. I bet you a good part of that is also the transmission in here, this 9-speed keeping the revs so low when cruising on the highway, and probably some of the aerodynamic improvements as well. We do have a slightly smaller fuel tank for 2025, only 23.6 gallons, so 23.6 times 21 miles per gallon. It's giving you an effective highway cruising range of 490 miles here, unladen, mind you, in the 2025 Infiniti QX80. And I gotta be honest, getting over 20 miles per gallon in a vehicle this size, that's pretty good. Do keep in mind that you are gonna be paying for premium fuel for this one as opposed to maybe one of the larger family haulers that takes regular gasoline. But all things considered, nice to see that improvement here for the updated model. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the QX80, check the link below. We've got our full review and the breakdown of the 24-speaker sound system. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.